Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Monday, January the 20th, a very big day here in the United States with the inauguration of a new president. And tonight, joining us to talk about not just the inauguration, but issues related to Europe is our good friend Rosine Ghawji. Rosine was the founder of Working Mothers for Donald Trump International. So she's been very involved in politics for quite some time. We've had her on the show, and we did the audio show only. And so tonight we have her on the video for the first time. Rosine, it's a great honor to have you. Welcome as always, and it's a great honor to have you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to speak with you, Silvio, so many
Okay.
times.
Yeah, so many times, but now in video, which is our first
Yes,
time in the video. We started doing the video about a year ago, and I enjoy it a lot. I think it's good for
yeah.
people to see the other
It's
person.
single people,
But
yeah.
let me begin with the weather. We've had a very cold day
Very
here
cool.
in North Texas. It was like 21 this morning officially, but it was cooler
Yeah.
than that with the wind. We may get snow flurries tonight, which means that the schools will probably close tomorrow. So that's why I'm wearing a sweater, because it's cold over here, Rosine. How about in
Yeah.
Tennessee? How is it?
I'm just coming back from Martin Luther King birthday. It was freezing.
Yes, it's just incredibly. I'm glad that they held the inauguration indoors because I think it was better for the people,
Oh, yeah.
not just the guests, because I mean
Yeah.
they're usually more protected, but like the bands and the many people who showed up. I think it's better that they did it outside. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of the inauguration, I wanted to get your reaction to it. I thought it went very well. It's There's still more that'll happen tonight. I guess when they dance, they have the big dance tonight, what they call the commander in chief dance, and that'll come later tonight. But I thought
Mm-hmm.
the events during the day went very well. I thought the images of the inauguration were great, and the just overall, I thought it was a successful day, not just for President Trump, but for the United States, Rosine. So, give me your thoughts about this rather historic day.
I think it's an historic day. Yes, it is. And it was safe to put it inside because of the weather. It was snowing and a lot of people would have, been damaged by the cold. But the main thing for me was the speech of Donald. I think it was an outstanding speech, and he's going to start right now to put America back on track. And he made it clear to the United States, but he also made it clear to the world what is intent to do.
That
And I think it was perfectly done. You saw a man, I think Donald Trump anyway is blessed, okay? I think he's blessed. You see
Yeah.
a leader and you see a guy that is really ready to bring that America back up where it was. It's going to be very difficult, but I think he will succeed.
Yes, I thought it was a very good presentation, but I thought it was interesting because I have never seen, well, for any of us, we have never seen a comeback like that of President Trump, because the
Yeah,
last time
never
something like
happened. It never
the last,
happened.
yeah, I mean, the last time this happened was in the 19th century, and that was President Cleveland, who
Yeah,
won, who lost, and came back. So, nobody remembers that. And this particular comeback was made even more special because of all the other stuff that was part of it. But I thought, I remember I woke up and the first thing I heard was that President Biden had pardoned Dr. Fauci. And I'm going,
yeah, yeah.
why? I mean, why
One
would you pardon? I mean, and
pardon
pardon back.
somebody, he has
Yeah,
not been condemned yet.
that's right.
So
Hasn't been indicted of anything. And
uh,
the pardon goes back to 2014. And I'm sitting there saying, wait a minute, what
yes,
was Fauci doing in 2014? I don't know about you, but I had never heard of Fauci
and me
un,
neither.
until COVID.
Yeah,
So I don't know what he was doing before that he has to be pardoned for that.
Maybe if we dig a little further down, we are going to find more.
Well,
You know?
but then of course it wasn't just Dr. Fauci, Liz Cheney,
Yes,
other people in the January 6th committee. Again, the
correct.
same situation. None of these people have
None
been
of them.
indicted for anything, and yet they're being pardoned in advance.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of crazy situation is that?
Well,
But
you
then,
know,
Rosine, then I think, just let me just say this real quick. Then I think he really topped it off when 15 minutes before noon, 11:45, so 15 minutes before he leaves the presidency, he pardons his family. Now
I
that
know.
was crazy.
Yeah, that's until the last minute he wanted to do something. But it's
I
over
mean,
now. It's over.
yeah, it's over, and it, no, these pardons cannot be reversed. I mean, he has the power to do it. But I just find it fascinating. I mean, can you imagine what the next Biden family meeting is going to be like? I
Oh,
mean, the next time the family gets together for, I don't know, Memorial Day or whatever, Easter, and everybody's looking at each other saying, "Hey, Uncle
uh,
Joe or Grandfather Joe or brother, what did I do to get pardoned?"
yeah.
So I just thought that was really bad. So what was your reaction to the pardons?
Oh, the pardon first, because I think that Happy Joe, the way we call him, is not all together. So
Mm-hmm.
he does not do whatever he wants. He always has been told what to do, sign here, say this, say that. It's a long time that we notice his brain is damaged, okay? He is not the one in charge. Personally, I think that Obama is in the back and do whatever he wants to do. And the hate to the Trump administration is so deep that until the last minute, they try to do something that will bother Donald Trump. You just told me that pardon cannot be removed.
Right. They cannot be reversed because this is a unconditional power that the president has. He has the power to pardon.
But what did he?
And
We don't know what he put in the pardon. What does he have to pardon? Because there was no condemnation.
well,
So
now that's the unusual part about it.
that's right. Yeah,
That
that's the plan.
normally in a pardon, a person has already been convicted or is
Correct.
sitting in a jail.
And not only
Uh,
that, that has been all the way to appeal. I
right.
think that don't arrive after appeal court.
Well, I think the question is at this point. I mean, from a strategy standpoint,
Yeah.
does it make sense strategically? I'm not talking morally, but strategically, does it make sense for, let's say, the attorney general, the new attorney general, to get into a legal challenge of the pardons when there's so many other things to do?
Yes.
But one thing that I heard this morning was that some states could go after them in much the same way that, let's say, Georgia and New York went after President Trump. So there may be that opportunity. My guess, Rosine, is that most Americans they know that Biden is finished. They know it's over. And they honestly would rather not have to hear about this anymore. So
Yeah, but there was so much damage
yes,
done. So
yes,
many dead, so many. You have Senator Rand Paul. Senator Rand Paul started something against Fauci already
yes,
before, but he did not go to court. And I think you have another AG. I think, where is that AG? Some north that already start something. You have, I think, 24 AGs that are together against Fauci already. So where that will go, we don't know.
well,
Okay.
if those are, but if those
What
are
they
state, No, but Rosine, if those are state charges, meaning
Yes,
Texas, Missouri, Kentucky,
yes,
Tennessee,
yes,
then that may be a different game. But I'm
yeah,
not 100% sure. But the problem is that we have never had anything like this before,
no,
where, I mean, this kind of, I think it's abuse
yeah,
of the
it
pardon
is.
power, because um, I believe that the president should have the power to pardon. And I think for the most part, presidents have used it responsibly.
Yes,
But to do this, to engage in this kind of pardon like this, where you're basically pardoning
mm,
people before they're indicted or before they're convicted.
it's
Um,
yeah,
I
there is
mean,
no
it's like,
pardon there.
no, I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, if somebody says, "Oh, gee, you got a pardon," and you
Mhm.
say, "For what?" I didn't do anything wrong. I haven't made,
That's
so
right.
I just think it's bad for the country, but at the same time, I think the country wants to put Biden behind and move on. So maybe I would recommend to Donald Trump just to worry about the economy and the immigration and the border. I think for the country, that's probably better. And let the American people, let history deal with President
Mhm.
Biden. I don't think history is going to be very nice to President Biden, frankly. But
No, no.
that's another topic. Well, I originally wanted to talk to you about France and Europe and what's going on over there,
Yeah.
but then the inauguration happened, and so we had to change a little bit the agenda. But I know we have spoken from time to time about France. So bring us up to date on France. I think they have a new prime minister,
Yeah.
right? So bring us up to date on that, please.
Yes. Right. Yes. I have an update about Prime Minister Bayrou. Let me just tell you a little bit about Monsieur Bayrou, because he's what we call in English a late bloomer. He has been 40 years in politics. He was 20 years old when he started. When he was 24, he already has 6 children. And during all those years, he belonged to different political parties. But to make a long story short, he's also the mayor of a big city. So he has a lot of experience. And just right now, he made what I call a masterpiece in politics. He succeeded in avoiding another motion de censure. He succeeded. How did he do that? He split the left. By splitting the left, putting trouble between the socialists and the communists, the socialists refused to vote the motion de censure. Marine Le Pen party did not want to vote it. So there was not enough vote to have a motion de censure and get Monsieur Bayrou out. So that gave him more time to do whatever he wants to do. And I think that was a great trick he put up in Paris. Now, you have another one that needs to be complimented is Monsieur Retailleau, who is a minister of the interior, because that has a link with the United States, okay? Monsieur Retailleau is kind of a conservative, I will say, on the right. He was a senator. I had a little talk with him a few years ago when the Donald was on the first 2016 to 2020. He was a senator and he was already very interested in knowing more about what the Donald had in mind for Europe. Okay. Now, Monsieur Retailleau is very courageous because he started to attack one of the major problems in Europe, which is Islam, which is terrorism. Okay. We do have in Paris a mosque that is under the control of Algeria. That mosque was built by Morocco and given away to the Algerians. Now we know that now Algeria is a troublemaker, okay? Algeria is a home of terrorist Polisario that bring attentats all over the place, okay? So this mosque, being under the control of Algeria, should go back to the control of Morocco. Why? Because the Imam is an agent of Algeria and belongs to the Muslim Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood is supposed to be a terrorist stuff. How do we know? We know that this Imam told the French people to vote for the left in the last election. The left agenda, LGBT, abortion, you name it, you have it, is against the principle of Islam. So it's a must for the French to get rid of this Imam, send him back to Algeria, and bring Morocco, give it back to Morocco, where in Morocco you have peace between the three religions. The king is very peaceful, okay? The place is very peaceful. Even Marco Rubio, that is in charge now, knows about the problem because he already asked to put some sanction on Algeria. And I think he will push it more and clean up that place. Because if we clean up the problem of extremist Islam in France, we'll open for a new era in the country, okay? So that's what I think we have to help in our country, Marco Rubio, to understand better that it is an emergency to get Algeria under bigger sanction. You get what? Yes, that is and that is it. Now, Monsieur Retailleau, even if he is willing to do something, and that's what President Trump will have a problem, because in Europe, you have the European Committee, okay? And European Committee is making laws that all people, all countries that belong to Europe have to obey. So you have a certain, like Monsieur Retailleau is limited in what he can do because he can be override by the people in the Parlement European. And it will stop. And he has to follow the direction that is given by Europe. Now, this European Parliament, what is it? It's not elected by nobody. It's chosen. Right. Sarkozy, when the French years ago were asking if they want to go to Europe like that, okay, the French in a referendum said no to Sarkozy. And Sarkozy said, that's okay. It's a fine, we're going anyway, okay? And this organization has become kind of a jail for each country that is losing their culture, that is losing their value, and have to be under the control of people that are not even elected. So that's a huge problem. And that's going to be a problem for the American administration, because how can we get rid of that kind of law? Okay, it's okay to have a Europe, okay, but not that Europe. And Donald Trump said exactly, but he did not have time to do anything, okay? But that's what he said. I think it's in 17. He said, I'm for Europe, but not that kind of Europe. So you have to study exactly the power of the Parlement Européen and find a legal way to go over or to change it. That's what I think.
Right. Now, no, I think you're right. I think there are going to be challenges for President Trump, but one difference, and please correct me if I'm wrong. One difference from 2017 when he was here last is that in 2017, you didn't have some of the more populist movements in Europe that you now have. You probably know that in Sweden, they want to be able to deport people who are not loyal or engaging and active. That's a big change. You have, I think, in Germany there have been some changes. In Italy, there have been some changes. So I think more and more you're seeing more European governments that are at least recognizing that they have a problem with these radicals, if you want to call them that, and and I think hopefully the population will support these movements. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell.
The movement that we have in Europe, like we have in Germany, like we have in Italy, those movements are coming from the people, are
Right.
not coming from the government. So the movement, I look at Germany, for example, a few years ago was only 10%, okay, people for Germany. Now it's much better, okay? Yeah. It's 25 or something like that. Italy, look, Madame Georgia, she's trying her best, but the same thing for Italy. They are under the control of the Parliament European, okay? Yeah. So it's very difficult. The only country that is free and can do is Switzerland, okay? Mm-hmm. Switzerland is out of Europe. Switzerland has a lot of money. Switzerland can talk, but Switzerland, for now, even if they have a right wing, it's very difficult to express what they think and to be heard by the other European, okay? Right. It might change, but I think you are right. But the country that I'm looking for and support completely is Hungary with Viktor Orban. Is a perfect place. Hungary is a perfect place to look at perfection for Europe. We need, like Donald Trump said last time, we need to bring back our culture, each country with to have the border, back to the border, back to the value, back to the culture. A French is not an Italian is not a Spanish. Right. You know what I mean? A Spanish is not a German. Everybody has differences. Let them have their own differences. They can talk together. Yes, you can have economy, you can have tourism, you can have, but you cannot have one power non-elected that will tell you what to do. And I think the people are really upset now, and the movement is growing. So it's the job of America to support. You know, when I hear some of those French politicians saying, America, Donald Trump say, MAGA, make America great again, they want to tell us what to do. No, Donald Trump does not want to tell them what to do. Please do whatever you want to start with, and after we can tell you, we can tell you if we agree or not.
But right. I think it's the real issue is we're not going to tell them what to do, but we have the right to react to what they do.
That's right.
I mean, we're not going to tell them, hey, you got to do this, but if they do, but we have the right to react and say, well, if you do this, then we're going to do this. And a good example, Rosine, is NATO. I mean, some of these countries are simply not paying what they're supposed to pay.
They can't take America for a bank.
You know? And so the United States has been defending, frankly, Europe for quite some time. That's and right. Many of these countries are not paying. So I think that's one thing. But I will tell you this, and I don't know how to tell the Europeans this without getting them very angry with me for saying this. So I'm going to say this, and I hope, I don't think you're going to get angry, but maybe some of your European friends could get angry. And that is, they need to start having babies.
Yes. And you have to say that in French.
Okay.
If you have baby, you get a lot of money to have babies. I don't know what's going on.
I can say it in Spanish.
Yeah.
I can say it in English. You can say it in French. But I just think that deep down inside, when you look at many of these countries and you see the demographics and you see these populations getting older, I think that's a problem that they have to deal with because
immigration too.
Well,
Immigration.
immigration, of course, yeah. But
Yes,
it
yes.
would be a lot easier to deal with immigration if you had more of your own people. Do you understand what I
No, we
mean?
don't know.
In other
Look
words,
at the British. The British, there is only now only 30% of the British are of the real British. 30%. I think.
that, yeah, I mean, it's a real problem. I mean, I know it's a very sensitive issue, and I can understand people saying, well, that's none of your business. And I guess it's not. I
No.
understand that. It's not my business to tell them, but a little reproduction, I think, would help the Europeans a
Yes,
little bit.
that's right.
A little bit, just a little bit. They don't have to have, like they used to, but maybe a little bit more. But anyway, Rosine, I want to thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to say that you didn't get a chance to say?
Oh, well, the only thing I would like to say is that we are so happy when Mr. Trump put his hand on the Bible, and it's going to be a change for America. And if we are an example, the other will follow. Okay?
I think
Because
so.
yeah,
I think
we
so.
have to look at Donald Trump is very special. He's black, and what we say, if you want to fly high, you have to fly like him, fly on the wing of an angel,
Right.
because he is very protected.
Well, I think he is a man. Hopefully he's a successful president. I think he will be.
Yes,
And I
yes, he
think
will be.
this second term has the potential, I think, for being very good, because on most of the issues, I think Americans agree with him. Whether they like him or not, I think most people realize that he was right about the border. He was right about the energy production. And
Mhm.
and I think people are willing to give him a chance. But Rosine, enjoy your evening. Say hello to
Thank
your
you.
family, and
Yes,
I look forward to I look forward to doing it again. Thank you so much for joining
thank
us
you.
tonight.
Thank you, Silvio. Talk to you
Thank you.
again. Okay?
That's
Bye.
right. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Rosine Ghawji, she's French, originally from France, and of course, as she said, founder of Working Mothers for Donald Trump International, and someone who we enjoy following a lot because she understands the news out of Europe, and especially out of France, her home country as well. Well, thank you for listening. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas. Just one more thought about the inauguration today. I thought it went very well. I thought the images were fabulous. Just everything about it. I mean, if this was a television show, I think it was very well scripted. At least technically, it was very well done. But the message was good, and that's the part that we like. I got a kick out of watching the vice president and his three kids, little kids. They're watching the parade. I thought that was kind of fun. It's kind of nice to have kids back on the stage. I think that was fun. And by the way, a couple of more things. I thought First Lady Melania, that hat made her look so good. I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden there's a boom in American women wearing hats. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And I thought Mrs. Vance, I guess we would call her the second First Lady or the second lady, I thought she looked very beautiful as well. So both of them were quite a credit to the country today, and of course the candidates as well. Now the president and the vice president. Thank you for listening. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, where it is very cold, and that's why we wear sweaters when we're doing our shows, because it's even cold inside. That's how cold it is. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, everybody.